Alright, so how can you retrofit an Omnitub into a new build? It is something that I get asked all the time. Customers purchase a new property, they love it, but what they don't love is the fact that their bathtub is this high off the floor. And when you've got the spacing underneath for the trap and the legs, the depth is so small it's not suitable. So this was the case for this customer who's very close to our factory, and have invited me to come and film at this stage so that I can show you guys how it can be done. And just to be clear, obviously it's not finished, it's not sealed in, it's not boxed in, etc. And I'm gonna come back and film when it has been finished so that you can see both sort of views for what we've got. So what was here before was a 1700 by 750, and you wouldn't able to go any further because of the door just over there. And with the customer being a wider person, they didn't want a 750 because he's weight training and sort of building mass and going wider and stuff. A 750 felt a little bit snug. It's not sort of a regular size back, it was a much wider back. So this tub that's in here is a 1600 by 800. And what we've done is we've trimmed off 50 mil. This one has speakers in, and this is my customer playing his video through the speakers. Hey, at least you can hear the speakers.
He's been jailed for 2 years and 3 months and banned from driving. Cyclists run over by a drunk driver once this.
Not great news when I'm doing a video. There we go, he's turned it off now, he's realised. So this has speakers in. That wasn't planned either, honestly. So we've taken 50 mil off that side, and so it's still left part of the flange on there, and it's simply been pushed against and sealed in without cutting into the tiling, just by sealing it. The tub's been taken out, and underneath we've got two 10 mil boards which have been doubled over each other. That's led the tub flat, and then we've got the feet on the higher setting. We've got the trap which is connected to the waste, which runs off into the existing waste outlet, and then the hot and the cold that comes up is up to there, and then it's been modified and it's been put into a mixer, the thermostatic mixer that was already in position. So you've got the hot cold which goes up to the mixers there, then out of the mixers into the blender, then from the blender into the jet fill, which is just around the other side of the install, and then the tub fills from the jets. And this system here has got the full system. It's the ultimate Omnitub system. So it's got the jets from the bottom as well as the side, and they're the same jet type. And you can see under there, we've got the blower. And on the other side, you've got the pump. Might be the other way around, I can't quite see, I think that's the blower. So the reason why it's been done like that, with the pump there and the blower the other side, is because these are hollow walls, and you can simply go through the wall in case of emergency for access. And add an vent on this wall and on the internal wall just through there. And we're gonna have some vent going across here, just so there's enough ventilation underneath, because as you can see under there, they've packed insulation under there and around there to lower the vibrations as a precaution, although, you know, not everyone does that. It's not really needed, but they've wanted to go extra on it. And when I show you the tub, you'll see why. It's got the jets on the back with a symmetrical pattern either side for a 2-person tub layup. We've widened the mixers so that there's plenty of space for the headrest across there. And then we've placed a 6-deck this side, a 6-deck this side, and then 2 jets either side with with the suction pump from there, and this has a pop-up waist which has been custom fitted so the cable doesn't lapse and to fit the tub. We only provide these with this system, and the reason is because we drill the overflow, we retrofit a pop-up waist. We don't offer that service on any other tub type apart from this one. The reason why it needs to have a pop-up waist on there is because it acts as a mechanical release to the pipework under here, which allows the water, the excess water, to go into the waste underneath and go through the waste outlet to relieve the water. The 3 lights on the back there are going to bounce beautifully in. It's actually daylight at the minute, so the lights aren't going to look all that. And then we've got on the wall, off the tub, the Omnitub touch controls, which just look absolutely awesome. If this didn't have a system on, the process would have been way simpler. It would have simply been a case of boarding underneath, laying the tub on. You might have slid it in a bit there by carving out the space in around the tile and slot the tub in if you wanted to, and then you could have put a panel around it, or you could have boarded and tiled it in, whatever you feel. The rest of it's been taken care of. So when you've only got one outlet in your new build, you've already got a thermostatic mixer underneath more than likely, so you can use the existing pipework without having to reinvent the wheel. Then it's just a case of replacing the 2 tiles to keep the distance to go fully across. That's easy, accessible because the team is still on site, or if not, you can easily get a match on newer tiles because they're not usually unique from my experience. Same with the floor tiles, which is what's going on the side, I think, or is it those ones going on the side? I can't remember what they're doing on the side, but that's going to be done this week and I'll come back for it. So this system here has got 36 of the same jet type. There isn't dedicated air jets, they're water and air jets with a dedicated blower, hence the touch controls to be able to do it. So when I turn this on, that now is the system on the lowest setting. And then the bubbles, the air bubbles, now it's running the air line through, so it's going to be passing that air through, as well as the water, speeding it up, intensifying the experience with 1, 2, 3. So now we've got really fast jets, really hitting the body hard. As an intensive experience. Got the lighting as well and the speakers as you've heard. So really good for sports. Really good for sports. Really good for hitting that body hard. And if I turn these ones off, that's just the air jets. So you can go as full on as you want or as calm as you want. You can just use the air jets, you could just use the Whirlpool jets. You can turn the air blower up to 4 levels as well as the massage mode, and you've got yourself a really nice tub, and that's been done with no real disruption. The shower screen is going back up once it's been set in, it's just holding the water for now. And there's been no real damage to any of the works, tiny little bit here, which is just a case of sanding and painting. New stud frame bits going in, I think it's Thursday, it's Monday today, 2 tiles, and that's what they've done. So that's how you would retrofit a tub into this space, and this is a really big system in a very small space. The room size is only like 1.7 wide, I think it's like 2.3 in depth, so it's not a huge space, and they've managed to get a very nice big tub in there which they can shower over when it's ready, as well as have 2 people in this tub to soak with. So I hope people have found this useful. I hope it's kind of the sort of thing you're expecting to see, and if it is, let me know in the comments. This tub's available to be shipped worldwide, as with any of our tubs, indoor, outdoor, commercial use, and they've got a very, very, very nice look to them. I think the white works very well in this space with the greys and the whites. Everything's greys and whites, there's no point really colouring the tub. Doesn't kind of stand into its own environment all that well. If it was a standout colour, not needed for this space. The white doors help it as well. And it's a very light room, as you can see from the windows that's coming through. The electricals for this, by the way, is just on the other side of the wall, where there's an existing spur. They're able to come off it. It's not a huge load on the network in any way, so that's what they've done there. And on the other side is a room, a bedroom, and if they need the access, then the panel can be cut accordingly for the pump to be swapped out, same as on this side if it was needed. So they have got that covered whilst not protruding into any of the space or having to worry about a panel for access. And now the tub's just sitting here for the evening with the water in just to settle, etc., before they go to the next stages. So with the trap and the waste, there isn't an issue on this. It's just literally a case, make sure I was right there. There isn't a case of having any issues with the waste. Water's running off perfectly fine. And it's holding it with no implications. And just this one final thing I will just say, if you ever want to fit a pop-up to your tub, you just need to have the cable length to be long enough, but not too long. And if it's too long, you need to cut it and reassign it. And if it's not long enough, you need a longer cable, and the hose pipe needs to be the same length as well. So it's going to perfectly fit. And then I recommend the trap that we have, because I know that it's going to work on that side. And you need a decent bit of kit there to be able to handle it, because it's got the water inside the tub. So yeah, any questions, any issues, give me a shout. 01934 751 200. If you want to talk about this tub or any other tubs we have, you can drop a comment in the comments below. And yeah, hopefully you found this useful, and I'll be back with a finished piece. I'm probably going to do a separate video of it as a full finish later in the week. So yeah, it's really nice. Cheers guys.